Hi, friends, living fit with Laura on this very, very cold, chilly, beautiful day. Let's say the prayer with me. This is the day my Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in the day. I will continue moving forward to those things that lie ahead, putting behind me those things that lie behind. I will not criticize, curse, condemn, compare, or negatively compete. I will be mindful of the thoughts that I think, the thoughts that I ponder on, realizing that my past can be a blessing and a lesson and not a curse. We must not ruminate in a negative way. Let me say that again. We must not ruminate in a negative way. Our past is gone, and we must take those lessons from difficult people or difficult jobs and spin them into a positive and realize that we did our best at the time with what we knew. On this beautiful day, remember that life is a beautiful gift, and so you can see the moon. We are not to legalize or villainize food and fitness. I talked yesterday about not being a copycat or villainizing, excuse me, it's really cold, not being a copycat or villainizing our workouts or our fitness. We must do those exercises that benefit our body and not injure our body, and we must remember that we're all uniquely and wonderfully and beautifully made. And likewise, we do not villainize or legalize food. Unless we are diabetic, if we want to lose weight, what's the point of eating food that we dislike, eating tasteless, quote-unquote, health food that tastes terrible? We must learn to have a healthy relationship with food. That is the bottom line. We must learn to enjoy the foods that will nourish our bodies in the right portion sizes that will enable us to lose the weight. Our bodies will tell us when we've had enough to eat. So let me say that again. We enjoy those foods that are healthful for our bodies, and we eat in the appropriate portion sizes that enable us to lose the weight. A calorie is a calorie. Now, our bodies will crave vitamins, minerals, fresh foods. I always have a pot of soup on the stove. We always want to cook our meals, but we do not have a guilt trip if we need to stop at a grocery store and get a sandwich or stop at a grocery store and get a protein bar. We are not so rigid about our lives that we cannot be flexible and occasionally eat those foods that we might not want to eat every single day. I enjoy beef jerky, for example. I keep it in the car for emergencies, but I wouldn't eat it every day because most of the beef jerkies out there have a lot of sugar. So what I'm saying is, I'd like to encourage my friends to consider what I call an undiet or an anti-diet. Diets that restrict and punish and make us feel tortured and miserable are not sustainable. Any food plan that restricts and torments and makes us miserable will not last long term. If we have an eating disorder, which many of us do, if we see food as a way to comfort ourselves or calm ourselves, then what needs to happen is we need to get right our relationship with food. That is the key. We need to heal our relationship with food. So let's consider keeping it real simple. We eat when we are hungry. We eat slowly. We eat fresh, healthy, natural food, not prepackaged, not junk. And then we stop when we're about halfway through, and then we realize that 10 minutes later, we don't want any more. We stop when we are satiated, not stuffed, and we eat when we are hungry. And many times we might be thirsty, we might be dehydrated rather than hungry. The trick question is, if you think you are hungry and you want to get up and go to the vending machine at work or grab a bag of chips, ask yourself if you would eat an apple. Most people, unless you're truly hungry, you will not want to eat an apple. The key might be that you are dehydrated. The key might be that you're stressed or bored. So if you're at work and you have a desk job and you are stressed, take a walk around the building. That's what I used to do. You might be very dehydrated. So these are all things we can do to realize that we are not truly hungry. We are either bored or stressed, or we are looking at food as a way to calm our nerves, which is very, very common. We must not punish ourselves for being human. It is very, very common to see food as a comfort. It is very, very common to turn to food to quench feelings of sadness or grief or anger. The key is to step back and be mindful of that. The key is to step back and give ourselves permission to be well. Let me say that again. We give ourselves permission to be well. On this anti-diet that I call, I just got sick and tired of all these different restrictions and looking for that magic food plan that would help me lose weight. And then I realized an eating disorder or a disordered way of looking at food would be the reason why you're looking for other people to tell you what to eat. If you are very overweight, then you have eaten poorly for a long period of time. And the key then is to realize that you see food as a way to comfort yourself. You might see food as a way to calm down anxiety or anger or depression. So food is not the answer. Our spiritual lives might be bankrupt, and it is necessary to seek the face of God. He is our only comforter. He is our only source of joy. He is our only source of peace. On this beautiful day, we realize that this is the day my Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad. And that by going on an anti-diet, what I'm saying is we do not look to food as our source of comfort anymore. An anti-diet is my way of rebelling against all the pre-planned menus that are out there that cause so much confusion. It's information overload. For example, if you think you want to go on keto with the purpose of losing weight, then if you eat an apple or banana, then you might feel like you blew it because you're not supposed to have any fruit. Listen, the key is to untangle the disordered way that we see food. Food is just food. It nourishes our body. Food will not nourish our soul. Only God will nourish our soul. If we are spiritually bankrupt, food will only make us fat. It will not nourish our soul. Let me say that again. If we are spiritually bankrupt, food will not nourish our soul. It will make us fat. So truly thin people, you notice, can enjoy a dessert. They'll stop when they are full. In a restaurant, they will stop maybe halfway through or 2/3 of the way through when they have had it, they're satiated. They don't gobble. They will enjoy a dessert and maybe even stop after a few bites, because it is not fun to eat when we are full, and it is not fun to eat tasteless food. And it is also not fun to be fat. So Living Fit with Laura, I'm going to talk about this some more. My anti-diet is a rebellion against all these pre-planned menus that have us enslaved into thinking, if I eat A, B, C, and D by someone that doesn't know anything about me or my life, then I will lose 30 pounds in 30 days for $30. That's a load of garbage. We're all beautifully and wonderfully made. We all need different amounts of food at different times. The epidemic of obesity in America proves that junk food makes us fat, and overeating because of various other reasons, seeing food as comfort, eating when we are upset, makes us fat. Food will never solve a spiritual problem. Food will never calm our souls. We might eat ourselves into oblivion, but that is not the same as the peace that all of us need, that only comes from a relationship with our Savior. So on this beautiful day, let's continue moving forward. Let's continue realizing that food is to nourish our bodies and God is to nourish our souls. Have a wonderful day with me, Living Fit with Laura. I'm proud of you. Get out and get your walk.